Hello travelers, and welcome back to my channel. I want to apologize in advance if I sound kind of sick. I feel like I have been on and off sick since December because of this crazy weather we've been having. It's been hot one day, cold the next. My body can't keep up, so I apologize in advance. Today's video is going to be a different kind of video. I've never talked about this kind of subject before on my channel, but thought I'd give it a try. I am graduating college in May, and I'm so excited. Woo! If you are thinking about going to college, if you're going to college, if you're already in college, I figured this video may help you out. Now that I'm a senior, I have 3 more months left. I feel like I can give really good advice for those that are getting ready to make their decisions and go to college. These tips are things that I wish someone would have told me when I was a freshman, and I figured, hey, maybe someone might see this video and it might help them out and help them have an amazing college experience. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to talk about today is going to class. I know this is like so stupid and I shouldn't even be mentioning this, but there are a lot of people throughout all my 4 years of college that don't go to class, and that's honestly one of the most stupid things that you can do. Whether you're paying for college yourself, your parents are helping, grandparents, you've saved up money, whatever the case is, this class is getting paid because someone is paying for it. And each class you don't go to class to, you're losing money. Not only is that stupid because you're losing money, but you're also going to be missing out on a lot. I can't even tell you how many times where I have just been sick and I haven't been able to go to class, where I felt like I've fallen behind. So I can't imagine those people that decide never to go to class and how far behind they feel. So just make sure you really think about it before you guys decide not to go to a class. And that brings me into my second thing, and that is do your work and don't be afraid to ask for help. So I can't even tell you how many times I've seen people just not do their work, wait till the last second, and then they just have no idea who to ask if they need help because they are on such a time crunch. And mostly this whole tip is about don't procrastinate. Then that way you can have time. If something messes up on your homework, you can have time and ask someone for help, which really does happen. You do have to ask people, maybe your classmates, you need to email your teacher, whatever the case is. Just make sure you give yourself enough time to ask for help. This is, I think, one of the most important tips on this list because I did this and I'm so thankful I did. And that tip is to plan your classes strategically. And what I mean by that is take your harder classes when you're a sophomore and junior. So your senior year can be a lot of fun and you don't have to worry about as much about, oh, taking this class, and this class. You get to worry about taking hours, which means you can take whatever you want. And I think it's really good to get all of the nitty-gritty stuff out of the way. So I took all of my most needed classes freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And I also did double credit classes, which means that if I needed a credit for a history class and a communication class, I would take a class that had to be credited to both of those, which really does help, which means that senior year you still have hours left over, but you can take whatever you want. So this senior year I was taking a freshman criminal justice class, which was super fun. Obviously I'm a senior in a freshman class, so it was a lot easier and it was a lot of fun. And if you plan things strategically, you can do that and you can have a lot of fun with your senior year. And I also think what goes with that is also travel while you can, while you're young, while you're in college, and while you have the opportunity. I've had so many of my friends come to me and say, how the heck did you do it, Carson? How do you travel so much? And my simple answer is, I did it through school. So there's a lot of travel opportunities that I've had through school, and what I did was I used those opportunities to get class credit, but also be able to do something that I love, aka go traveling, go to new places. So if you can and you can afford just a little bit more money, go into it. You'll get class credit and you'll have an amazing experience, and that way you won't feel as bad going into a full-time job right out of college, because I know a lot of people struggle with, okay, should I go right into a job? Should I go to travel? Should I do this? You'll already have travel experience through college, so you won't feel as bad about not traveling through college because you've already done it and you've had some experiences that a lot of people don't get to have. And I think that's a great idea, is to travel while you can. Okay, so my next 2 points are gonna go hand in hand, so I'm gonna just say both of them at the same time. And the first one is, don't feel like you have to fit in. And the second one is, don't think that Greek life is the only thing to do on campus. So I've never talked about this on my channel, but I actually used to be a part of Greek life, and at the time it was alright, but I wasn't committed to it like a lot of girls were. I decided to drop it because it was just a lot of money and it was getting into the way of my classes. I didn't live on campus, so it wasn't easy to go to meetings. But the wonderful thing is that most campuses aren't just Greek life based. There's a lot of great campuses that have a lot of different things going on campus. You can be a part of Student Government Association. You can travel like I did. You can be a part of so many different clubs and so many different causes that you don't have to be a Greek person to get involved. And I think that's a big misconception, is that you have to do Greek life when you get to college, and that's so not the case. I am so happy that I ended up dropping because it's freed up so much of my time to be able to study, to travel. I got a job, so there was a lot of really great things that happened for me because I dropped Greek life, and I got to the point where I felt like I didn't need to fit in. A lot of people come freshman year and they feel like, oh, I have to be in Greek life, I have to fit in, this is the way to fit in, and that's not the case. You don't have to do that. Greek life is not always the best thing for each person. It's obviously good for some people and not good for others, and that's totally fine if it's not good for you, because it wasn't good for me, it wasn't helping me, and I made sure that I, got out of that situation. So don't feel like you have to be in Greek life. Don't feel like you have to be accepted, because you'll find your group of friends and the group of people that you'll really like, and it might be in Greek life and it might not be. So just remember that and get involved in other ways if you don't get involved in Greek life, because there's so many other ways to get involved. Okay, so the next tip is to save as much money as you can. And I know this is really hard for some people because some people don't have scholarships, they don't have help, and they have to pay for college on their own. And I totally get that. And that, there's different situations, so I can't speak on every situation, but if you are able to, sit aside money, get a job, whatever, and make sure you try to save as much money as you can, so when you're graduated, you won't feel as much pressure to immediately get a job. You can kind of have a buffer period where, okay, I don't have a job yet, but I have some money to sustain me. Let's start looking for a job. So that way you'll have money for the future. Even if it's just like $5 a week where you put it in a piggy bank, it really does add up. Even just a few $100s by the end of your college career, it all adds up. And my last tip is to graduate. I know that sounds so stupid. I shouldn't be telling you all to graduate. This is just so idiotic to say, but it's really not. A lot of people start college and they just drop out, and that's fine if those people really truly feel like they don't want to go to college. I get it. College is not for everybody, but in my opinion, if you are going to start college, you might as well finish it. And especially if you're like a sophomore, junior, and you're debating it, go ahead and finish it. You'll be happy that you accomplished something really awesome. I mean, I can't tell you how cool it feels to feel like, okay, I've accomplished this, I've worked really hard for this degree, and I've gone to school for 4 years, whatever. I just feel so much better about being able to graduate. And don't feel discouraged if it takes you a few more years to graduate. I know so many of my friends are not graduating on time. One of my friends was an 8-year senior, so she did not graduate for a very, very long time, but she did end up graduating because that was something that she wanted to do. She wanted to have that degree. She wanted to make her family proud, and I think that's so awesome. So obviously, if college is not your thing, don't listen to me. You know what's best for you, but if you're gonna start college, go ahead and finish it, and it doesn't matter how long it takes you. Just finish and you'll feel so happy that you did this thing, because it's just so much work and so much fun, but it's crazy and it's stressful, and then once you're finished, you're like, wow, that was crazy, but I'm so glad I did that because I've learned so much throughout this experience. So those are my tips for college. Obviously, I could talk about college forever just because it's been on my complete life for the past like 3.5 years, over 3.5 years actually. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to know any more tips, or if you guys have anything that you would like to leave as a tip, definitely comment down below. We can talk about college all we want, and I hope you guys learned at least one thing from this video, and I will see you guys next video. Bye and happy travels.